If you're over the age of 50, there are some key ages to be aware of. Ages where you could potentially save yourself some money, ages where you could potentially save more money for your retirement, and then ages in which you can take advantage of things to potentially reduce your tax situation or your overall tax picture. In this video, we're going to talk about the 9 important ages and what those ages mean specifically to you and how you can use them in your overall financial and retirement planning. I'm Scott with Sierens Financial Group, where we partner with clients to help answer and bring solutions to their key questions. Are you on track for retirement? What can you do to improve your financial picture and help build wealth? And then how can you help reduce your overall tax situation and tax picture? Now, in this video, we're going to talk about the 9 important ages if you're over the age of 50 and what those ages mean to you, the rules around those ages, and then how you can use them in your planning and how you can potentially take advantage of those ages to maybe reduce your tax situation, save money, or save more towards your retirement. Now, all of these that we talk about, I will say up front, check with the IRS website or the Social Security website, as each and every year, some of the specifics around these ages may change. But with that, let's go ahead and get started. The first age is age 50. Now, this age is an important age because you can start making catch-up contributions to different retirement plans. For instance, we're in 2021. If you are making contributions to an IRA or a Roth IRA, where the normal guidelines are $6,000 a year, you can make an additional $1,000 contribution to that type of an account. So starting at age 50, you can actually save more towards your retirement if you're saving into a Roth IRA or a Roth 401k or just a regular 401k or regular IRA. But think about this, that's more money, and I'm focusing here on the Roth for one specific second. That's more money that you can get into that tax-free, that account that grows tax-free and that you can withdraw from tax-free. So the same holds true for whether it be simple IRAs, or let's just talk, for instance, about 401ks, 403bs, or 457s. Prior to age 50, you can only contribute $19,500 a year. But age 50 and over, you can now contribute $26,000 a year into those types of retirement accounts. Again, this is to help you catch up. So maybe either one, you feel like, hey, you haven't contributed enough to your retirement, because maybe prior to age 50, you were paying off your home, paying off some debts, helping your children with their college education. So now this is some time to be able to catch up, to make sure that your bucket of money is going to be big enough for your retirement. So starting at age 50, if you can, take advantage of these catch-up contributions. As I mentioned before, always check with the IRS website to see what the current amounts are. But this is an age where you're allowed to now make additional or higher contributions to specific retirement accounts and retirement plans. Remember this, it's never too late to save for your retirement. So if you've gotten to a certain age and you're like, boy, I just don't know if I've got enough saved up, don't let that hinder you. It's never too late to save. Utilize these catch-up contributions to help you save additional money for your retirement. So no matter what age you want to retire, you've got enough in your bucket to live that lifestyle that you so choose to live. All right, our next age is age 55. This is where the rule of 55 kicks in, where you can make 401k withdrawals. But I'm going to make a special note on this one. It's 401k withdrawals from your current job's 401k that you have left, retired from, or have been let go from. So it's not old 401ks. If you've got old 401ks in different locations, it doesn't mean that you can start making withdrawals from those old 401ks from previous employers. This is an age where you can make withdrawals from your current employer's 401k that without any sort of penalty. Because you're probably thinking, wait a second, I thought I had to wait till age 59 and a half. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. But it allows you to withdraw from your current job's 401k without any penalty if you leave in or after the year that you turn age 55. Now, again, why is this a special rule? Well, this is a very helpful trick for those that are maybe looking to retire early, especially if all of your money is in retirement accounts. So if you are planning on retiring early and you've only saved money into 401ks or IRAs or 403bs or 457s, this is a rule that may be able to help you out because you would be able to make penalty-free withdrawals before age 59 and a half. But again, only specific to your current job's 401k if you leave in or after you turn age 55. And another special note here is you need to check with your plan sponsor because not all companies will allow you to do this. But this is a rule that you can utilize if you plan to retire early and you're looking for where will you go to get money from to be able to support your lifestyle. Okay, the next stage is age 59 and a half. This is when you can make those qualified withdrawals from your retirement accounts without any sort of early withdrawal penalty. So this would be like your 401ks, 403bs, SEP IRAs, simple IRAs, Roth IRAs. You can take as much as you can. You can take as much as you want for whatever you want without any sort of penalties. Now, prior to this age, prior to age 59 and a half, and there's always some exceptions or special notes to the rules here. But let's just say from a global standpoint, prior to this age, if you were to take withdrawals from those retirement accounts, you would incur a 10% penalty. Now, also be aware when you're withdrawing from IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, any sort of qualified retirement account, you are going to owe income tax on your withdrawals from those accounts. But age 59 and a half is when you can start making withdrawals from those accounts without that early withdrawal 10% penalty. So a really specific age to be thinking about when it comes to your overall retirement planning, right? Because if you're going to retire before age 59 and a half, and you might not be able to use the rule of 55, you don't have a 401k or your company's 401k plan doesn't allow you to use the rule of 55, then you really need to start thinking ahead, right? So if you're going to retire before age 59 and a half, you got to start thinking ahead and start to save in non-retirement accounts or after-tax brokerage type of accounts. So that way you've got a bucket of money that you can go to be able to retire early, take withdrawals from it without penalty, wait to age 59 and a half, and then you can start making withdrawals from your qualified retirement plan. So thinking about this age, paying attention to this age in your overall retirement planning becomes really important. All right, our next age is age 62. Now, this is the earliest age that you can start claiming Social Security. Now, I'm not saying that this is the right age to start claiming Social Security. Everybody's situation is different. And to me, the right age to claim Social Security is really a balancing act between how much you've saved up in your bucket of money, how much you've saved up for retirement, and you'll be able to go and make withdrawals from, and the balance between how much of a guaranteed income source like Social Security do you need. Because if you take Social Security at age 62, you're going to get a reduced amount from what you would get at full retirement age. Again, taking Social Security early, you get a reduced amount from what you see on your Social Security statement that you would get at full retirement age. Now, here's another thing. I think sometimes we look at the Social Security statement. It says, here's what you get at age 62. Here's what you get at full retirement age, or here's what you get at age 70. You can take Social Security at any year and month between age 62 and age 70. You don't have to take it on a specific day. a specific year or birthday or time frame. You can take it anytime you want between 62 and 70. Just remember, at age 62, it's going to be a reduced amount. Now, there are no go backs, right? You can't go back and change your decision. So you can, but you're going to then need to pay all the money back that you've claimed from Social Security. So just remember, so claiming Social Security is a very big decision. You can start claiming it as early as age 62. It will be a reduced amount, and you really need to think about that in your overall planning. The other thing to think about is that if you're going to claim prior to full retirement age, so between 62 and full retirement age, and you are still working, based on how much you make, your Social Security payments could be reduced if you go over a certain amount of employment income. So really pay attention to that, because it may not make sense. Again, one, from a financial planning standpoint, but if you're working and you're making a healthy income, it may not make sense to start claiming your Social Security, because it's going to be reduced if you go over a certain amount of income. Great tool here, Social Security, in the overall planning. This is as early as you can start taking it, but something that you need to pay attention to is the reduced amount and if you will be continuing to work or not. All right, our next age is age 65. This is your ability to go on Medicare. That's federal health insurance for people age 65 and older. Part A being hospital insurance, Part B being medical insurance, and Part D, prescription drug coverage. Now, Medicare is not free. You do pay premiums for Parts B and D. However, if you didn't have any sort of coverage, this is most likely much less than what private health insurance would be. So why is age 65 such an important age? Well, if you plan to retire before age 65, you have to plan for healthcare costs. And if you do plan to retire before age 65, you really want to go out and get some quotes, understand how much healthcare protection is really going to cost you, because it can get pretty expensive. Then at age 65, right, you can go on Medicare. So this could potentially, again, if you're retiring before age 65, you're using private health insurance. Once you turn age 65, this could potentially save you some money. But remember, right, there are premiums for Parts B and D, and for Medicare. But age 65 becomes, I found, kind of one of these critical ages that people are planning around when they're looking at retirement, because they sometimes are going, okay, hey, I'm going to kind of look towards age 65, that day when I can go on Medicare, and I know Medicare will be covering my healthcare costs, to plan a retirement date or plan a retirement timeline. Does that necessarily have to be the case? No, not necessarily. If you've saved enough, again, in your retirement savings, you might be able to afford private health care and retire before age 65. Again, it all depends on you, your plan, and how much you've saved. Okay, our next important age is full retirement age. And you might be thinking, Scott, there's no age on the slide here. Which is full retirement age? Well, first off, full retirement age is when you can collect your full Social Security benefit, or what they call the PIA, the primary insurance amount. This is when you're looking at your statement from Social Security, it says FRA, or full retirement age. The reason that there's not an age on this slide is that this could be a different age based upon the year that you were born. It could be age 66. Could be 66 in 2 months, could be 66 in 4 months, 8 months, 10 months, could be age 67. I think you're starting to get the point here. Full retirement age is based on when you were born. Now, it does not, again, I'm going to go back to this whole thing around Social Security. Just because they say early retirement age, full retirement age, or they say age 70, it does not mean that that is the year that you have to retire. Or you could retire at this age, but again, it doesn't mean that it's the year that you actually have to start claiming Social Security. So you might retire at this age, but remember, every year that you let your every year that you delay taking Social Security, your Social Security benefit amount for each and every month will continue to grow. Social Security planning is really important. So that's why I continue to bring up these little nuances, because it's really important when looking at your overall plan. Again, this is an important age because this is when you would get your full retirement benefit amount. But if you delay taking it, your benefit amount will continue to grow. Another thing to think about when it comes to Social Security planning that I didn't mention earlier is that if you are a couple watching this video, if one of the two spouses were to pass away, you only get to keep one of your two Social Securities, and you keep the higher of the two. So letting one Social Security grow as long as possible may be of great benefit to your overall situation if one spouse were to happen to pass away. Another important factor of this age, full retirement age, I mentioned earlier that if you were to be working and collecting Social Security prior to full retirement age, they could reduce your Social Security, that amount. It was already going to be a reduced amount, but they could deduct from your Social Security if you're to go over certain thresholds. Once you hit full retirement age, you can collect Social Security and make as much employment income as you want, and there's no deductions from your Social Security. There are no thresholds. So this is an age where you can start collecting Social Security and make much as you want from employment income without having any sort of reductions or deductions for surpassing any sort of threshold. So some really important parts of Social Security and full retirement age. All right, before we move on to the last three important ages, I hope you're finding value and benefit of this video so far. And if so, and you'd like to see additional videos just like this to help you build wealth and reduce your overall tax picture, subscribe to our YouTube channel or connect with us on lifemoneyshow.com. Again, that's lifemoneyshow.com. That way you get notified as we continuously come out with additional podcasts and videos to help you and your financial picture. With that, let's talk about age 70 and continue the conversation about Social Security. Age 70 is the age where you would get your maximum benefit amount from Social Security. Between full retirement age and age 70, your Social Security benefit amount, if you delay taking it, will grow at 8% each and every year that you delay taking it. Now, once you get to age 70, there's no more bumps by delaying to take your Social Security benefit amount. So this is the maximum benefit amount that you can get. And at age 70, if you haven't taken it yet, you may as well start taking it because it's not going to grow anymore. Now, once you do start taking Social Security, you will get cost of living adjustments. So this is one final tip and point that I want to talk about when it comes to Social Security. By delaying taking your Social Security as long as possible and letting that monthly benefit amount grow and grow and grow, the longer that you wait or delay taking it, letting that benefit amount grow as much as possible, that is what your cost of living adjustments will be based on. So think about this. If you take at age 62, you're going to get a reduced amount. Your cost of living adjustments are going to be based on that reduced amount. If you wait till age 70, you're going to have a higher amount, and your cost of living adjustments will now be based on that higher benefit amount. So that was one final tip there regarding Social Security and age 70. All right, moving on. Age 70 and a half. This is when you can start taking start making qualified charitable distributions from your qualified plans like IRAs, 401ks. What this is that you are giving directly from your IRA to a qualified charity. Well, why does this become important? Well, for a lot of people, what I found is that a lot of people are no longer able to itemize their deductions on their taxes because of the new standard deduction. The standard deduction is just higher, and so most people are just getting the standard deduction and that's it. But they're still giving charitable contributions. But again, the standard deduction might be higher than their charitable contributions, so they just get the standard deduction. Well, at age 70 and a half, you can start, again, making distributions directly from your IRA to the qualified charity. Now, that is very important, right? It has to go directly from the IRA to the qualified charity. But you now get the benefit of making that distribution, meaning that this would be a deduction in addition to your standard deduction. So let's just say you're age 71 and you're taking the standard deduction, which we're going to rough estimate it today. Let's just say, hey, it's around $24,000. And you make a qualified charitable distribution of $5,000 directly from your IRA to a charity of your choice that meets all of the different requirements. Well, and let's just say that year, in addition, right, you needed money from your IRA. So you took $10,000 from your IRA, $5,000 of it went to the charity. Well, you see, you actually now get to that $10,000 would normally go into your taxable income. However, since you made a $5,000 QCD directly to a charity, that $5,000 will get deducted from that $10,000 that you took out. There you go. It's no longer going into your taxable income. You can look at that almost as a deduction in addition to your standard deduction. Really important age. This is a rule that we use a lot with our clients to help them capitalize on additional tax efficiencies and tax planning and tax strategies. All right, our final age to talk about is age 72. That is the age where you must start taking your required minimum distributions. Again, like all of these ages and all of the different things that we've talked about, check with IRS website or the Social Security website, because, for instance, age 72 just became a new rule about a couple years ago. It used to be age 70 and a half. So this is the age where you must start taking required minimum distributions. So if you have an IRA, 401k, 403b, 457, any sort of qualified plan, this is an age where you must start taking distributions out each and every year from this age until you pass away. Now, really important that you do this, because if you don't take your required minimum distribution, you could be penalized 50% of the amount that you failed to take. And not only that, but the IRS will continue to tax you on the full amount that you should have taken. So really important that you take these. Each, depending on where you have your funds at, that institution should be helping you calculate what your required minimum distribution is. We help our clients determine what this number is so they know and take the right amount each and every year. Now, a couple things on this. Just because it says required minimum distribution, if you need to take more money out of your accounts, you always can. It's not like this is the amount that you have to take. If you need more, you can take more. Now, of course, always understand your plan, your situation, how much you have saved up, because you take too much out each and every year, well, you could run out of money. The other thing is it's just required for the person where those accounts are in your name. So if one spouse is age 72, but the other is age 70, this would only be required for this spouse that is age 72. Now, coming to planning and talking about some exceptions to the rules again, and how you can use maybe different things potentially in your favor, is if you are still working, you could potentially avoid taking the required minimum distribution from your 401k, again, from your 401k with the employer where you're currently at, if your plan allows it, and if you are still employed and still working at that company. So if it's a 401k from a previous employer, well, that wouldn't that wouldn't fall into this rule or this exception. It's only the 401k of the employer that you're currently working at. And if you're still working, you can potentially, I'll say, delay or avoid taking those required minimum distributions until you stop working for that company. Again, check with your company and check with your plan sponsor. Every company has a little bit different rules. Now, if you're still working, you have a 401k, but you have IRAs in different locations, you would still need to take the required minimum distributions from those IRAs, just like I mentioned, the previous employer's 401ks. I really hope you found this video to be of value and benefit, and you can see that once you turn age 50, there's a lot of important ages when it comes to retirement planning, ages that you could potentially use to your benefit, ages that you have to be aware of when it comes to Social Security or to tax planning. By understanding these ages, you can really help yourself in creating your retirement plan, whether it's to retire full-time, retire part-time, or whatever your goals are when it comes to financial independence. Again, hope you found this video to be of value and benefit. And if so, and you'd like to see additional videos just like this, subscribe to our YouTube channel or connect with us on lifemoneyshow.com. Again, that's lifemoneyshow.com as we continue to come out with additional videos and podcasts to help you and your financial future. Thanks, and have a great day.